The North American B-25 Mitchell is an American medium bomber that was introduced in 1941 and named in honor of Brigadier General William Billy Mitchell, a pioneer of U.S. military aviation. Used by many Allied air forces, the B-25 served in every theater of World War II, and after the war ended, many remained in service, operating across 4 decades. Produced in numerous variants, nearly 10,000 B-25s were built. It was the most produced American medium bomber and the 3rd most produced American bomber overall. These included several limited models, such as the F-10 reconnaissance model, the AT-24 crew trainers, and the United States Marine Corps' PBJ-1 patrol bomber. Powered by 2 1,100 horsepower Pratt & Whitney engines, the forerunner of the B-25 Mitchell bomber had a shoulder wing design, a tricycle landing gear, and was capable of carrying a 1,200-pound bomb load. Its armament consisted of 30 caliber machine guns in the nose, dorsal, and ventral positions. Built at the company's Inglewood, California plant, the prototype was first flown by test pilot Paul Bafour in January 1939. The engines were soon replaced by 1,300 horsepower Wright Cyclones. The plane was redesignated NA-42 and was delivered to Wright Field in Ohio in March 1939 for United States Army Air Corps evaluation. Although the prototype crashed 2 weeks later because of pilot error, the Air Corps was impressed with the NA-42 design, although some changes were requested, including an increase in the bomb load and armament. North American was engaged to continue development under the basic design NA-62, and this was completed in September 1939 when war broke out in Europe. An immediate contract called for 184 bombers, now designated B-25. Several improvements were made. The wing was relocated to a mid position, operating weights and the bomb load were increased, a tail gun position was added, and the engines were upgraded to 1,700 horsepower Wright Cyclone radials. Self-sealing fuel tanks and crew protection armor plating were added later. Stability problems were solved by giving the plane a gull wing. Building a B-25 Mitchell was a complex and lengthy matter. Half the size of a consolidated B-24 Liberator, it contained 165,000 separate items, not counting the 150,000 rivets that held it together. By 1944, the average cost of the Mitchell was $142,000, or $50,000 less than its successor, the Martin B-26 Marauder. The B-25, which continued to undergo many further improvements, had a crew of 4 to 6 men, weighed 35,000 pounds, was 53 feet long, had a wingspan of 68 feet, carried a 3,000-pound bomb load. Its top speed was 272 miles per hour at 13,000 feet, with a service ceiling of 24,000 feet, and a range 1,350 miles. Wherever it was deployed, the maneuverable B-25 was one of the deadliest and most effective weapons in the Allied aerial arsenal. Carrying 3,000 pounds of bombs, or 8 5-inch rockets, and bristling with a dozen 50 caliber machine guns, it proved to be virtually indispensable. Because of its firepower, it did not require fighter escort. If you or anyone you know is interested in touring this aircraft in person, head on over to azcaf.org to learn more about rides or other opportunities with this unique piece of history.